Welcome everyone. Today we're not building fast, we're resting. We're escaping a little bit into Minecraft, giving ourselves a little bit of grace. So let's step into this peaceful world and breathe for a while. I'm going to be working on finishing a few little decorations and finishing the roof on my cottage. And today I want to, speak about just giving yourself a little bit of grace for anything that you have to do this week or had to do today, yesterday, or this past week or month or whatever you're going through. And it's something that I've been working on for myself and something I'm pondering as I'm going to quietly play here. So this is not a tutorial. This is not a high-paced survival game. I play in peaceful mode, so there are going to be no jump scares. But do join me if you want some company and want somebody to keep you company as they're building their little cottage and finishing everything up. And the topic of today's episode is just giving yourself a little bit of grace and not being so hard on yourself when times get tough. This is about as loud as I normally speak. And if you want to just rest, tuck in, grab a cup of coffee or tea, or just sit here and relax a little bit and just stare at the scenery as I build, feel free. I started playing tonight and started recording this, and what's on my mind and what's on my heart is just there's sometimes things that you can't stop thinking about, and I feel it's sometimes because we're so hard on ourselves. We look at what happened in the week or what's happening today or this year, and just making all of these comparisons or replaying the same mistake over and over like it's a loop, and just not taking a minute to breathe and just step back and go, okay, hang on. I didn't do so badly. I did what I could with the information that I had, and I was thinking about myself and all the things that I had to handle this week, and it was one thing after another. I hope I did the best that I could, and a few bad moments don't undo everything else that we've done right. Doesn't mean that you still can't take a little bit of time and build your little cozy forever world. I've been gathering resources and trying to get this cottage just so. If you haven't had a chance to see the previous episode, I'll just catch you up a little bit. This cottage is just from some childhood memories of my grandparents' cottage, so I'm trying to, just out of my mind's eye, recreate it. But in a super chill, peaceful way. I'm new to Minecraft, so there won't be any tutorials here, but just me quietly talking and thinking things through, and one of the reasons why I created this channel. And I'm glad you're here, so that I could slowly start building a community for folks to hang out and feel safe and just chill and find a place to just unwind. And sometimes you just have to just sit on the couch or in a chair or in bed and just to stare off into the distance or wherever, or if you're watching this, just look at this, kind of let yourself relax a little bit, take a deep breath. And just let your brain try to make sense of everything this week. One of the things that I was thinking about is, so rarely do people have things figured out on the first try. And it's okay to mess up, it's okay to make a mistake. But we're so hard on ourselves when we make them. And it doesn't mean that you've failed as a person, it just means you tried. It's gave it your best. Now the week is done and it's Sunday night and I'm just unwinding, getting ready for the rest of the new week coming up tomorrow. And the routine starts all over again. And even with these builds, it's important to give yourself some patience, especially if you're a beginner. Mistakes don't mean you shouldn't try, it's just proof that you tried, and you might have to have a little bit of a redo and give it another go. But it's hard, there's so much hustle culture out there that if you rest, you're a quitter. If you take a break, you're lazy. If you sit down just to catch a breather, you're wasting time. But that is a surefire way into burnout and poor health. There is a time to act, and there is a time to, act with urgency and do important things and show up and be there. Absolutely. But after it's over, or to prepare yourself and rest up for something important, yeah, you absolutely need to recharge. Give yourself some patience and give yourself time. And rest isn't quitting. Sometimes it's the part of preparing for something better and for preparing to be stronger and you being better at the next thing that you're going to do. But it's hard sometimes to unwind, so get yourself comfortable in a chair or on a couch, or wherever you can sit comfortably, and let's just relax for a little bit. As I just chip away here in the game. Maybe it's being scared to start something new. You know, that's not weakness. You know, that's just being human. I mean, is there anything that maybe you've been putting off because you're scared that you're going to be bad at it at first? I was watching some YouTube shorts the other day, and it was just one of those motivational business presentations or whatnot, but they were just going so quickly, like, oh, you know, you need to do this and you need to do that, and then this and this and this and this. And I thought, you know, but growth is messy, and nobody grows in a straight line, and they're not telling you all the long hours in between everything that needs to be done, or all the detours, or everything that went wrong. It's all just presented as a nice, shiny picture of success. But those of us that our lives aren't a shiny YouTube short or an Instagram reel, and we have to keep showing up day in and day out as our real selves, just know that you're not behind. You're in your own timeline. And grace means, you know, letting yourself be human. Out loud. Mistakes and all, lumps and bumps. Without apologizing for it because you're trying your best. So come relax with me for a little while. Let's just take a deep breath. Keep each other company. And that we both did the best we could this week. Just breathe and build. Let your shoulders go. Let your jaw relax. Just rest. I think one of the things that we forget a lot is in the world of advertisements and quick reels and shorts and quick TikToks is that all of that is just chopped down into the highlights. But even for the super successful people, their lives do not go in real life the way a highlight reel goes. And it's hard, for us, and it happens to me all the time. I just sit and rest and then just try to deflate from the whole day. And I admit it's hard not to let comparison kick in. I know that there are people who aren't, just a month and a half, maybe 2 months into Minecraft, that they've been at it for years, and they have every automation that you can think of going. And that's okay. I'm still going to, create this little peaceful world. Try to make it as cozy and as cute as possible and as realistic looking as the game lets me. But this is important for me to create for a little escape for myself and anybody who wants to join me. And I'll keep you company and we'll talk about topics like this. We'll relax, anything to unwind. I forgot to mention that you don't have to follow along. If you doze off or you lose track of my voice, I'm just going to be kind of gently commentating. There's not going to be any storyline that you have to really stress and keep track of. We're just going through little by little, doing a little bit here, a little bit there, whatever we need to make progress. But yeah, whatever you're working on, if you want to share, let me know what you're up to. Are you studying for an exam? Are you getting notes ready for summer school, or maybe meal prepping for the work week ahead? Me, I'm just finishing editing this and just talking about whatever comes to mind that I feel that I need to bring to the community. So hopefully, if even one of you gets to rest here with me and hang out, that just makes me super happy. And thank you for joining me and welcome. Glad you can hang out even for a little bit. Over the next few episodes, I'll be working on making the cottage just look more and more realistic. I want to put in a boat dock at the end of the river there, so I can go tooting around on a little boat. There's a little village not too far away, so it'll be easier just to go back and forth if I need to trade with them. And then later on we can go boating and exploring some more. After the roof is finished on the cottage, so there's not so much rain coming into the house. In upcoming episodes, I'll be want to make a nice little lit path into the mines that are in the mountains just behind the cottage. I'll be planting more dark oak saplings. So we can get some more dark oak for decorations. I sort of have this kind of vision that once we're done with most of the building and then the exterior is done, then we're going to surround it with these tall dark oaks. Just like little lanterns here and there to make it all super cozy and give it a real sort of cottage in the woods look. But for now, it's just easier to move around a little bit than having to make these temporary dirt blocks and jumping to and fro to get everything built. But eventually, once it all gets done, it'll look nice, and then we'll keep adding it. And and the thing that I mention here in my commentary, just as much as I'm keeping you company and talking to you with it, it's also a reminder for myself. So even now, I'm just reminding myself to unclench my jaw because I'm thinking a little bit still too much of everything that I have to get ready for tomorrow. So taking a nice deep breath and letting my jaw unclench and letting my shoulders drop. And little victories. That's the next idea that popped into my head. Every little thing you do, it's okay to be proud of yourself that you did it. Whether it's, tidying up your bedroom, taking out the garbage, doing the dishes, doing an extra load of laundry. There's so many little things to do on a day-to-day basis, that we just do them automatically, almost sometimes just mindlessly, not even thinking about it. But really, it's still something that you've accomplished. Even if it's repetitive, even if it's necessary. But you did it anyhow, and be proud of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. I'm proud of you. as you're sitting there getting more relaxed, think of maybe one or two things that went well this week. What was some little thing? Maybe you got a coupon in the mail for some groceries, or maybe you got your favorite parking spot when you went out shopping. Just some little glimmer of something to have a half smile about. For me, it was pretty hot and humid today when I went grocery shopping, but I got a parking spot underneath a tree, so the car was in the shade the whole time. So that was my little happy little glimmer for today of something that went well. I didn't have to finish shopping and sit in a boiling hot car. It was tolerable. The tree gave it some really nice shade. And the grocery store wasn't too packed either, so that wasn't too bad. Take another deep breath and exhale. So yeah, let's continue on. No pressure to be on. Just rest. Let the last of the week go for a little bit. We know we don't have to have it all figured out just to keep going. And I had another thought, like what would this upcoming week look like if I just let myself off the hook just a little bit? Not sit around and do nothing, but just say, okay, you don't have to be perfect, do the best you can. Not be so hard on myself, and know that if if I get worried about maybe what somebody might think, really nobody's watching us as close as it feels like they might be. Most other people are dealing with their own stuff too. So one of the things that I'm going to do this week is just catch myself if I'm talking negatively to myself. Because I wouldn't talk that way to, people I care about. I shouldn't talk that way to myself. And if I make a mistake, I'm still allowed to be disappointed, and you're allowed to be disappointed too if something happened or didn't go your way, but you can still be proud of yourself that you tried. Both things can be true at the same time. Yeah, you're disappointed, but you did it. So a little bit less negative talk to myself this week and catch myself. I'm not talking about fake positivity or, you bump into a table or stub your toe and it hurts. You're not going to say something like, oh, I'm so glad I stubbed my toe. No, you can still go, ouch. And, stupid table, you're in my way. That can happen, and just laugh it off. But definitely not something like, hey, stupid me, why did I walk into that table? I should have known better. Maybe just a little bit easier of, okay, next time be more careful so you don't hurt yourself. Glad it's not worse. So there we go. That'll be the thing to do this week. Just a little bit of less negative talk. That will be my little tiny micro goal. And I used to think that being hard on myself meant, that I cared more about the situation. And it turns out that I was just, tired and frustrated with myself and disappointed. You can still care about something, and just because you're not hard on yourself because you want to just step back a little bit, that doesn't mean you care less. Sometimes I think, okay, well, how would I reframe this? So what if this last week wasn't a failure? What if it was just like a rough draft or a dress rehearsal, and I get another chance to give it another try? And whatever it was, you're still here, you're being resilient about it. You might be a little bit tired or sad, I get that. That's why we're resting here and just unwinding right now. But it's not for nothing. It's good to get centered and to get healed and rest. Whatever you need to do, whether it's using this to fall asleep, or if after this, if you're just going to meditate and think about some things, or journal to just write out some of your thoughts and feelings, whatever you need to do, go for it. Little by little, I know you'll handle it okay. We all will. So let's do a little bit more breathing. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more centered and a little bit more settled. I'm actually getting a little bit tired, so I think what I'll do is I'll just let the sounds of the game, the sounds of the songs carry out the last little bit of the video. But I'm so grateful that you are watching here today with me, and I'm glad I could keep you company and sit there with you as well for whatever you're going through. I wish you good luck for the rest of the week. I hope it goes well. I hope you get those positive glimmers. In next week's video, we're going to be working on the boat dock a little bit and keep creating this world. So my wish for you this upcoming week is that you give yourself grace and patience, and that the world gives you grace and patience as well. See you in the next video. Good night.